Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking into martial arts, specifically something called one steps.
That's right. We're using the complete book of one steps by Grandmaster Dr. Gambordella as our guide here.
And these one steps are like preset self-defense routines.
Exactly. Yeah, drills designed to build muscle memory, reflexive responses for different kinds of attacks, very common in many styles.
But there's this issue, right? Dr. Gambardella points out that students often freeze up during tests.
Oh, definitely. Mine's going blank, even after hours of practice. It's a well-known problem.
You know that feeling.
And he argues pretty convincingly, I think, that it's not just nerves. It's how the one steps themselves are often constructed.
How so?
Well, he says it can be too complex, too many moves strung together without a clear, mental hook or system. It just overloads your brain.
Right, cognitive overload. Makes sense. And he has some stats on this.
Yeah, pretty stark numbers, actually. He claims 75% of students forget 75% of their one steps within just a few months.
Wow, 3/4 gone that quickly.
And it gets worse. He says it climbs to 95% forgetting within a few years, which really highlights, a potential flaw in just rote memorization of complex sequences.
So what's his fix then, his solution?
It's all about building a system. Start simple, like really simple. Master single strikes. First a punch, a specific hand strike, then maybe a kick.
Build it block by block.
Exactly. Get the fundamentals solid, understand the why behind them, and then start combining them. He calls it a system for learning, creating mental reference points so it actually sticks.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is to explore that foundational idea, looking at how he breaks down these one steps, starting with hand strikes.
Precisely. We'll focus on the initial sections of his book, Hand Techniques, and how they fit into basic sequences.
Great, so hand striking fundamentals. He puts a lot of weight on just getting the hand position right, doesn't he?
Absolutely critical. It's not just about flailing your hand, it's about forming it correctly for maximum effect and, importantly, minimum self-injury.
Makes sense. So let's take the shuto, the knife hand. What's the key there?
Okay, shuto. He's very specific. Fingers pressed tightly together, straight line along the edge of the hand. And the thumb, crucial detail, needs to be tucked firmly into the palm, towards the palm.
Not sticking out.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
He contrasts it with bad form, like a floppy little finger, or the thumb sticking out, which weakens the strike and risks breaking your thumb. It's about creating a solid, sharp edge.
Okay. And then the palm heel strike. That one sounds useful. Maybe less risk to your own knuckles.
Yeah, it's a great alternative. For the palm heel, the fingers curl tightly, bent at the middle knuckles, and the thumb presses hard against the palm. Creates a solid, fleshy base.
So you're hitting with the heel of the hand.
Exactly. He even shows a side view to get the form right. One caution, though, he warns against bending the wrist back when you hit, especially soft targets. Keep it straight to avoid sprains.
Good tip. So different tool for a different job compared to the shuto. More blunt force.
Right. More of a pushing, smashing impact. Okay, moving on to, well, the more intense ones. Ice strikes.
Yeah, they sound pretty direct.
They are designed for maximum effect on a vulnerable spot. He details a few, like the two-finger claw. You hold down your ring and pinky finger with your thumb
Okay.
and strike downwards, smash downwards with the index and middle finger. His key word is smash, not poke. It's about causing damage, not irritation.
Got it. Smashing, not poking.
Yeah.
What else for eyes?
There's a thumb gouge, pretty self-explanatory, and a single knuckle eye strike. He actually recommends the middle knuckle for this, says it's good for ribs too, again, targeting small, vital areas.
Okay, definitely focused attacks. What about the ridge hand? Where does that fit in?
Ridge hand uses the side of the hand by the thumb, that fleshy part, and the bone structure near the wrist.
Yeah.
He's clear. Don't hit hard bone with this, like the skull. It's for softer targets, throat, groin, maybe the side of the neck.
Softer weapon for softer targets.
Exactly. He also mentions the bottom fist using the base of the fist, the wrist area, and the backhand for similar soft spots, like the nose. Less risk to your own hand that way.
Makes sense. And then the classic punch, the four-knuckle strike.
Yeah, the basic karate punch, he calls it. The emphasis is on hitting with just the first two knuckles, the index and middle finger knuckles.
Just those two.
Just those two. And critically, you twist the wrist right at the moment of impact. That rotation adds a surprising amount of power.
That little twist makes a big difference.
Huge difference. Finally, for the hand strikes, he covers the elbow.
Ah, yes. Always hear about elbows being powerful and close.
They really are. Leverage, speed, hard bone.
Yeah.
They're tough to block effectively. You can use the whole elbow for a wider impact or focus the point for a more penetrating strike, natural weapon.
Okay, so those are the basic tools. Now, how does he start putting them together in these one steps, starting with the shuto?
Right. And notice how the first sequence immediately blends defense and offense. It's not just block, then hit. It's integrated.
How does it work?
You turn inwards, execute a double shuto block. One hits their forearm, the other their bicep area. Instantly, you grab their wrist with one hand.
Control.
Yes, control. And deliver a right shuto strike. And he stresses don't stop their immediate follow-up with a left shuto to the neck. Use their own momentum against them.
Turning defense into offense smoothly. I like that. Then there's a simpler two-part one.
Very direct. Just two shuto strikes to the neck. Right then and right again, hitting opposite sides. Quick, precise, targets a vital area. Shows the speed of the shuto.
Okay. And a more complex four-parter.
Yeah, this one builds more. Left shuto block against a punch, turning into it. Then a left shuto to the side of the neck.
Okay.
Third move, right shuto to the ribs. He notes this likely makes them bend over.
Creating an opening.
Exactly. Setting up the finish.
Right.
Left shuto to the back of the neck, then a final right shuto to the back of the neck. You see the flow. Block, strike high, strike low to change posture, finish high. Logical progression.
Yeah, you can follow the thought process there.
Mhm.
What about the variation he mentions?
That seems more about relentless pressure. Let's focus on the initial block, maybe. But stepping forward, delivering continuous right shuto chops downwards onto the back of the neck. Overwhelming the opponent.
Okay. And a three-parter, starting with an arm block.
Right. Left arm block, immediately counter with a right shuto to the neck, then step forward and chop down hard on the back of the neck. Again, block flows right into the counter.
Then a four-part one that involves holding the arm first.
Yes, this emphasizes control. You secure their arm first, then chop to the back of the neck, then chop under, into the ribs, finish with a chop to the throat. Control enables targeting different areas.
And a simpler two-part one focused on evasion.
Yeah, step to the side while blocking the punch. Get off to line of attack. It shows it's not always about meeting force head-on. Movement is key.
Good point. Then back to a four-parter with a double chop.
Right, shuto block, step in, then a simultaneous double shuto chop to the collarbone area.
Ouch.
Yeah, followed by a double shuto to the sides of the neck, using both hands at once for impact.
Okay, lots of shuto. What about the sequence starting with a low block? For lower attacks.
Exactly. Step outside the attack, execute a low block, then it's right shuto, left shuto, both to the back of the neck. Finish with a chop to the kidneys and then a neck break, hitting high and low.
And one combining a pressing block with a strike.
Step aside, press their attacking arm down while simultaneously striking their neck. One fluid motion. Then chop the kidneys, chop the knee to make them buckle.
Setting up the final shot.
Right, makes the final chop to the back of the neck easier, more effective, disrupting their base.
There's one where you hold the face. That sounds like serious control.
It is. Pressing block down, shuto to the face, then grab and hold their face with your right hand. Really anchors them for the finish, a left shuto to the throat. Control is key there.
And the last shuto example targets different levels again.
Yep. Left shuto block to their wrist, immediately followed by a right shuto down to the groin. Then finish high again with a chop to the back of the neck. High-low, high pattern. Keeps them guessing, hard to defend.
Okay, that covers a lot of ground just with the shuto. Now, moving on to the palm heel. He really likes this one for power without knuckle damage, right?
Definitely. He emphasizes its versatility: face, ribs, groin, kidneys, side of head, lots of targets, and it's kinder to your own hand. Still repeats that warning, though. Keep the wrist straight when hitting soft areas like the stomach. Don't let it bend back.
Got it. So the first palm heel sequence uses a grabbing block.
Yeah. Left hand grabs, blocks the attack. Immediately, right palm heel smashes the nose. Same hand follows up to the solar plexus. Then a left cross palm heel to the face, finishing with a right palm heel to the temple. Rapid fire, blunt force to the head and body.
Wow, okay. The next one also blocks but targets different levels.
Right. Left palm heel block,
Yeah.
then right palm heel smash to the ribs, then left palm heel down to the knee. Finish high again with a right palm heel to the temple, maybe crossing with a ridge hand too. Mixes levels and even strike types.
And another four-parter, different block.
Starts with a right block this time, then left palm heel to the jaw, down low to the groin, back up to the ribs with the right. Finish with left to the jaw again and right down to the knee. Lots of different angles and targets.
Okay, there's the three-part one, starting by stepping outside.
Yeah.
Emphasizing movement again.
Exactly. Block a left attack, stepping outside its path. Counter first with a right ridge hand to the ribs. Then left cross palm heel to the temple, hard right, palm heel to the ear. Follow up with more ridge hands to the back and neck. Evasion, counter, sustained follow-up.
Then a really short, direct two-parter.
Yeah, using the ridge hand again. Right ridge hand pushes their attack away, a pushing block, immediately followed by a double ridge hand strike straight to the face. Very quick, very direct.
And building on that, a three-part one.
Starts with that double ridge hand to the face, then, crucially, the left hand controls their head. Pins it, basically. Allows for a much harder, more focused right palm heel smash to the jaw to finish. Control sets up the power shot.
Makes sense. What about the one from kneeling? That's unusual.
Shows adaptability. You're kneeling, maybe you were knocked down. Block a punch with your right. Strike up with a palm heel to the lower stomach or groin. Then, as you rise quickly, ridge hand to the face to drive them back or down. Follow with left palm heel to the nose, right palm heel to the face, using the strikes even from a disadvantaged position.
Very practical. And one mixing foreknuckle and palm heel.
Right. Grab block a right punch, immediately hit them with a foreknuckle strike to the face. Then follow with both right and left palm heels to the face. Finish close in with an elbow to the jaw, shows you can flow between different hand shapes and strikes.
Then a four-parter with head control leading to a throat attack.
Step out to block a right attack, palm heel across their head jaw, right ridge hand across the neck. Then the left hand comes up, grabs the head, controls it.
Setting up the finish.
Exactly. Sets up a throat smash, targeting the Adam's apple. Very targeted, uses control effectively.
And the last palm heel one involves head, butts, and knees. Sounds brutal.
It's very close quarters. Block a punch left. Hard ridge hand to the stomach while grabbing their head. Then a headbutt straight to the nose. Pull their head down into a rising knee strike to the face. Finish with a chalk to the side of the head, and potentially a stomp to the throat if they go down. It's a rapid escalation using multiple body parts.
Okay, definitely shows the intensity these can reach. Let's shift to the elbow strikes now, integrating those.
Right, moving into those powerful close-range tools. The first sequence is a three-parter, left grab or block, then a hard downward elbow smash.
Downward.
Yeah, maybe breaking their posture or hitting the collarbone, followed by a knee to the ribs. Finish with a punch to their middle back while still controlling their arm. Elbow strike creates the opening and maintains control.
Next one targets the back of the head.
Yes. Grab lock a right attack, upward elbow smash to the back of the head, follow with a palm heel strike to the back of the neck, finish with another hard left strike to the back of the head, repeated shots to a vulnerable area.
And one using horizontal elbow strikes.
Right block, turn into it with a hard right elbow across their jaw. Follow immediately with a left elbow across the face. He notes this might knock them down. Finish with an elbow strike down towards the heart area if they're on the ground. Standing to ground transition.
Then there's one leading to a joint lock.
Interesting one. Block a left attack. Use a turning elbow strike not just to hit, but to push and control their elbow across their own back.
Using the strike to manipulate.
Exactly. Then you lock that elbow in place, deliver a shuto to their neck, and finish by breaking the arm across your back or body. Strike flows seamlessly into a lock and break.
Very efficient. What about the four-parter with a kick?
Grappling type block first. Smash your elbow across their attacking arm, maybe to deaden it or disrupt. Then a front snap kick right to the face, knocking them down. Finish on the ground with a punch to the ribs and a stomp to the back of the head. Mixes blocking, elbow, kick, ground finish.
And the next one emphasizes footwork for the elbow.
Yeah, stepping across to block a right attack, controlling the arm as you move. This gives you the angle for a powerful elbow strike to the chin. Follow with a left elbow to the jaw, again, maybe knocking them down, and finish with a right elbow to the face on the ground. Footwork creates the opportunity.
Okay, the last elbow one sounds pretty final.
It's decisive. Step outside to block a left attack, smash your elbow into their ear, very disorienting. Turn in, right elbow smash to the jaw, likely causes a knockdown. Follow immediately with a knee strike to the jaw while they're down or falling. Finish with a stomp to the throat. Very direct, very forceful finish.
Right. Now he starts bringing in the legs, introducing kicks into the one-steps.
Yep, adding the power of the lower body. First sequence, left block, immediate front kick to the face, followed by another front kick, this time to the stomach. Then it finishes with an elbow break maybe to an arm and a hard punch to the back of the neck. Mixes high-low kicks with upper body finishes.
And one that uses a kick for a takedown.
Cool technique. 4 parts. Left block. Front kick to the stomach. Right front kick to the face. Then, instead of retracting, you hook that kicking foot over their head.
Hook it over.
Yeah, and use it to pull them downwards off balance to the ground. Finish with a stomp to the back of the neck. Kick becomes a lever for a takedown.
Clever. Then a sequence using multiple side kicks.
Showcases the side kick's versatility, left block, side kick targeting the throat area, immediately retract and side kick again, lower to the ribs. Then a third side kick to the knee to buckle them or knock them down. Finish with a punch to the temple. Repeated strikes at different heights.
And one focusing side kicks on the back.
Tactical advantage. Step outside their attack, getting to their side or slightly behind. Side kick to the middle of their back. Use the same leg for another side kick to their knee, dropping them. Finish with another side kick to their back while they're down, exploiting the blind spot.
Then one using a roundhouse kick but also
Yep.
grabbing.
Right. Roundhouse kick to the head face area while grabbing their arm. The grab adds stability, maybe control, maybe prevents them moving away. Then you take your kicking leg, press it into their knee joint for a lock or break. Finish with a punch to the back of the neck. Kick leads into joint manipulation.
And another with multiple roundhouse kicks.
Pure power and flow. Hard roundhouse to the neck. Immediately follow with another roundhouse to the stomach, then whip the leg around their head, maybe striking neck head again. Finish with a hard punch to the kidneys. Dynamic, uses rotational power.
What about turning kicks? Side kicks and back kicks.
Yes. Start with a turning side kick to the ribs, which also serves to block an incoming punch. Continue the spin into a back kick also to the ribs. Finish with a sharp heel kick upwards to the jaw. Uses the momentum of the spin for multiple powerful kicks.
And one using a stop kick, then knees.
Defensive start. Stop their incoming kick with your own front snap kick, maybe to their shin or chest, jamming them. Immediately follow with a kick to the groin, then lift them or close distance for a knee to the face, then another knee. Finish with an elbow to the back of the head. Very aggressive counter and follow-up.
There's another combining. Kicks, knees, and elbows.
Fluid combination. Block a punch. Kick to the stomach. Knee strike to the jaw. Elbow to the back of the head. Finish with a punch to the ribs. Just flowing from one weapon to the next, targeting different areas.
Okay, and the last kick sequence involves blocking a kick and going into a lock.
Right. Step out to block their kick. Immediately counter with a knee to their ribs. As you do that, turn your elbow over their leg or joint to start applying a lock. The text mentions continuing by stepping across and lifting to break the elbow. Defense flows into control and joint destruction.
Right, so the final section we're looking at today really focuses on how the block itself isn't just defensive, but sets up control and finishes.
Exactly. It elevates the block from a passive deflection to an active setup for the next move, often involving control or takedowns leading to a finish.
The first one uses the block to set up a wrist lock.
Yeah. Block their punch, but immediately strike their head while bending their wrist backward. Keep applying that backward pressure on the wrist, it'll likely force them down. Then you lock the arm further on the ground and finish with a head stomp. Block initiates the lock and takedown.
Brutal. The next one also uses an arm lock after striking the arm down.
Similar principle. Step outside their attack, forcefully smash their attacking arm downwards. This off-balances them and gives you control. Step up, lock that arm above their head, use the lock and leverage to throw them down. Finish with a head stomp. Again, the initial action on the arm enables the whole sequence.
Then the shorter one using the block to wrap the neck.
Very close range. Step outside, block the punch, but continue the motion of your blocking arm to wrap right around their neck. Immediate head control. Then the hand comes across their face, maybe digging into the nose or eyes he mentions, tearing. Very aggressive control.
Okay. And a four-parter leading to a hip throw.
Shows the strike to grapple transition, block punch, quick strike to the jaw, elbow strike to the jaw, then reach over their head, lock their neck tight against you, and execute a hip throw. On the ground, finish with a knee to the ribs and a punch to the face. Full sequence. Block, strike, clinch, throw, ground, finish.
The next one also uses a throw initiated by a palm heel.
Yeah. Block by turning in, deliver that powerful palm heel strike to their face to stun them. Immediately reach up and around their head, drop to your knee executing a hip throw variation. Finish with a head strike to the throat on the ground. Palm heel creates the opening for the throw.
And the very last sequence we'll cover today. It sounds intense. A back break.
It's a very powerful, potentially lethal finish described. Step outside to block. Smash their face hard. Immediately step in behind them. Wrap both arms tightly around their neck, upper body. Continue the motion to lift them forcefully onto your back and then violently arch or bounce to break their spine. It's presented as a decisive ender.
Wow. Okay, so wrapping this part up, looking at these initial sections of Dr. Gambordella's book,
Mhm.
you really see his system taking shape. It's all about those fundamentals first,
Yep,
right?
absolutely. Master the individual tools, the shuto, the palm heel, the elbow, the basic kicks, the blocks. Understand how they work, why they work, before you start linking them together.
And the goal is to build that mental framework he talks about, those
Mhm.
reference points, so it's not just rote memorization.
Exactly. So the techniques become almost intuitive, available under pressure, because you understand the underlying logic, the flow from one move to the next. He really believes this tackles that forgetting problem head on, makes it learnable, retainable.
Yeah, and for our listener, someone interested in getting knowledge quickly but also thoroughly without getting bogged down, this method seems really appealing. Breaking complexity down into understandable chunks.
It's a solid approach. Build from a strong foundation, understand the components, rather than just trying to swallow a whole complex routine without really grasping the parts.
Right. Which leaves us with a thought to chew on, doesn't it?
Definitely.
How could this core idea, breaking down something complex into its fundamental, learnable parts, mastering those first, and then combining them, how could that apply elsewhere in life?
Yeah, I mean, think about learning, say, a musical instrument or a new language or even tackling a big project at work. Could focusing on mastering the absolute basics, the building blocks before trying to do everything at once, could that lead to better results, better retention, more flexibility, maybe even true mastery in the long run?
Something to think about. That principle of a structured system for learning complex skills, it probably extends far beyond martial arts.
It really might. The power of understanding the fundamentals, definitely food for thought.